In this week's video, let's go and try business class on Fiji Airways. We're catching a flight on one of their A350s from Nandi to Sydney. Mum's back again this week, so together we'll be checking out the lounge in Nandi, seeing how the seat and the meal service all stack up, and we'll talk a little bit about the present situation with the airline and its bright future. Let's get into it.
"6:07 a.m. Sun doesn't come up for another 34 minutes. Sydney, FJ911,
911.
not 911.
What a terrible name for an airline. It reminds me of that tragedy. Oh, don't laugh at 9/11 again.
Do they not have a business class check-in here?
I was having a bad day.
Good morning.
There's a right on the first counter.
Okay.
That's the business class check-in. To wait in line that.
Yeah, okay. I was a bit confused because they didn't have it here. Yeah.
There's only one counter for business class.
Oh, that's at every flight.
3 seconds.
A long day, yeah.
Thank you
Thank you very much. There's a queue at the business class check-in anyway.
Yeah.
So it does exist. Oh, I hate that so much.
Oh,
It's got the extra water screening.
because we're going to Australia.
Yeah.
It's us that does it. That
The Australian
imposes
government.
that.
Yeah, the Australian government. Anyway, let's go to the lounge, I guess.
I'll do the stairs. I'll see you at the bottom. I need to improve my step number. Where's he gone? Oh, there he is. It's pretty.
It is pretty. Coke Zero. Zero sugar Sprite as well.
The fruit has cucumber.
No, it's for the,
Sorry?
I think it's for the juicing machine. Yeah, just trying to figure that one out myself. Baked beans, hash browns,
Creamy spinach.
sausage.
and mushroom.
bacon,
That sounds delicious.
egg. Got all the stuff you need.
Everything. Perfection. Perfection.
Oh, okay. Okay, so what did you think of the lounge?
It was very green and lots of flowers. Very
Yeah, it was quite pretty. It wasn't exactly big, was it?
It was compact.
Comfortable.
I loved the suit. The toilets is the first toilet I've experienced here that had warm water coming out of the taps. There are only 4 cubicles and 1 shower
It just wasn't very big, but it was fine.
and a parent room. They're what?
Oh, wow.
I think, is it 3? Oh, we're at the front. Oh, well,
Okay.
see you there. Yeah, see ya.
This is chaos. Kinda cool. Oh, we got this thing.
Fabulous view across the air bridge.
You got the first window seat on the left.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
This seat is quite nice. It's not comfortable enough.
Yeah, I think it's a good one. But yeah, it's good because you got all these pop-up things.
Very shallow one.
These are both yellow. Right, you got this one as well.
Yeah. That's a bit deeper.
That one's a bit deeper.
That's it for storage, is it?
Oh, you got a thing down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the headphones. There you go.
Oh, it's got a little slick.
As well. Oh, sorry.
I'm happy.
Good.
Thanks, darling.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It is pineapple scented. It's nice.
How much I do apologize sincerely about this delayed service. This is due to the traffic congestion here at the airport with a number of company aircrafts all departing at the same time.
This flight was delayed by 19 minutes. That's nothing major, of course, but the pilot did say something interesting there pre-takeoff. He said this delay was due to a large number of company aircraft departing at the same time. Fiji Airways times all of their incoming US flights to land between 6 and 8 in the morning, and then banks departures to Australia and New Zealand to leave a bit later in the morning, between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. This ties into their interesting market niche, and I personally quite admire them for this without really even getting into the service side of things. Let's get into the whole business class experience though, and come back to the interesting business and operations side of the airline a bit later in the video.
Initial impressions here are good, very good. The seat, I think we've seen it before on China Airlines, except this time we don't have the cool light. Look at this light. I love it. I don't know.
Do you really love the lamp, or are you just saying it because you saw it?
I love lamp.
We've got the good storage. We've got the screen that doesn't fold out. It's just there, which is nice. Just super spacious, super nice seat. And yeah, the crew they've got that Fijian, super friendly style about them. So yeah, so far, so good. I'm actually wearing a button-down shirt today, so I can do this. Alright, so meal service. Alright, so my meal was pretty good. Cheesy omelette. It was exactly as described. It was a cheesy omelette. Flavors are all good. The croissant was squashed, but warm and nice, and there's a good bit of fruit there too. All round, pretty good. I think Mum got something else, so let's see what she...
Are you lurking behind me?
No, I'm just wondering how your meal was.
Oh, well.
No, don't tell me.
Hold that like there.
Yeah.
Cool. Is it going? So I chose the banana pancake with caramel sauce and banana. It was good. They're fluffy pancakes, like pancake mix. And their surprise thing was the croissant on the side.
Croissant.
Which came with marmalade, and that's my favourite combination, croissant, butter and marmalade. So I was delighted with that. And the little fresh fruit salad was perfect. So yeah, I can't fault it. I'm really happy. Okay, I'm done.
It's good.
It is good. It's long enough, it's wide enough.
What is he talking about?
But I wasn't napping on this short flight. I can tell you though that this seat, the Collins Super Diamond, is a comfy bed from that China Airlines experience. And it might even be a bit better with Fiji Airways. We didn't get them on this flight, but I believe on the long haul US routes, they have pretty decent bedding. You get a mattress pad and a proper thick blanket. I will say that the pillow here was pretty good as well. It's nowhere near as great as the Singapore Airlines pillows, but it's still a decent pillow. It wouldn't ruin your night's sleep in this seat.
Alright. So we're in the front toilet now. Pretty standard A350 toilet. Not too small. Nice lighting. I like the purple. We've got way too many hand soap options. We've got a hand wash, a hand soap, hand sanitizer, and I guess body lotion as well. But nothing special apart from that. Aircraft approved air freshener. I kind of want to know what Boeing D67127 is.
I no longer care.
Bit weird here. There's a mirror just for your shoes, I guess, and pants, and then you've got the top half mirror here. So that's a little weird, but apart from that, oh, one thing of note: these are the nicest hand towels that I think I've ever seen. It's a toilet.
Fiji Airways has Wi-Fi on their A350s and their 737 Maxes. In economy, you do get free but very limited Wi-Fi access, so you can use messaging apps for free, but you can't surf the web and do other sorts of things. Now on the website, there's different tiers for the pricing. It's fairly reasonable, really, to be honest. It's for the full flight and it's not by the hour. In business class, you do get complimentary access to the standard web package, and this is fine. It's slow. You will have to wait for websites to load. You're definitely not doing any streaming or downloading. You can, of course, load the Flight Formula website. You can look at the wine tracker, and if you subscribe to Wine Tracker Plus to find the best wine deals, I'll stop there. But long story short, it exists. It's free in business class. At least the slow tier is. And well, in my opinion, some Wi-Fi is better than no Wi-Fi. Qantas.
Why am I so low down? It's come on up a bit. One thing quickly, what's the watts? There are 2 USB ports. We've got this one, we've got like a normal outlet, an M-Power outlet. And then over here we've got another USB, but this one lights up green, so might be special. So we're charging and we're getting 7.7 watts basically out of that one. It's by no means fast charging, but you know, your phone will get a healthy charge. If you think standard charging bricks, the old ones used to be 5 and the new ones are like 10 or 12. And I think fast charging is anything north of about 18. So yeah, not bad. Let's check out this other one now on the other side. Something tells me this one's going to be fast, but might be wrong. No. Okay. So that one's only 6. Not quite as good as the other one, but still both of them being sort of north of 5 is pretty good. Well, not that good, but good enough, respectable.
Let me once again quickly destroy any chance of a brand sponsorship by talking about Fiji Water. Is it good, bad, or somewhere in between? Let's start with the good. It's the most popular imported water in the US and has likely boosted Fiji's global recognition. Water is Fiji's largest export, largely thanks to the Fiji Water brand. They provide jobs for hundreds of Fijians, and overall the brand is probably a net positive contribution to the local economy. That being said, there are some aspects worth questioning. For starters, Fiji Water isn't a Fiji-owned company, it's part of the Wonderful company. They're the folks behind Pom Wonderful, the pomegranate juice in the weird bottles, and Wonderful pistachios. Despite the name, they faced some criticism for their practices in the past, including using significant amounts of California's scarce water resources during drought to irrigate their massive nut farms. On the Fijian side, the company reportedly paid only 1/3 of a cent per litre for water in tax for years. When the Fijian government attempted to raise this fee to 15 cents per litre, the company initially shut down all operations in the country and let go of all employees, before eventually reopening and just agreeing to the tax. They're a little bit dramatic. There's more there, but let's just say that it's wild that they call themselves the Wonderful company. Secondly, the biggest thing here is that it's just water. Why in the world are we shipping water halfway across the planet just so rich people can signal their wealth? I mean, the water itself is fine. It meets all the FDA regulations to be decent water, but it's still just water in plastic bottles. Let's not even get into the microplastics. At the end of the day, while Fiji Water might be a net positive for Fiji itself, the concept of premium water will always be a little bit insane to me.
All right, let's very quickly, a couple of things about the in-flight entertainment. Overall, the UI is pretty nice. It's pretty responsive. I don't know, I just like the way they've generally laid it out. We do have a live camera, of course. It's an A350. It's a pretty cool camera. You can zoom in. I've never seen that before. And we've got both of the cameras, of course. And you can zoom into both of them for some reason. Bit weird, but good. A couple of things of note. Movies, they've got, you know, a lot of your new release stuff and generally a pretty good selection. They don't really have a big back catalogue going on here. I mean, we've got 17 again. I'm starting to form a theory that all airlines either have 17 again or Crazy Stupid Love. You have to have one of these, and a rare airline might have both, but we've got 17 again here, no Crazy Stupid Love. One thing that keeps on getting me and keeps on annoying me here is with the TV shows. Now, great airlines will have full box sets, so you'll be able to get really into a TV show, watch the whole thing through. Okay airlines will have 3 or 4 episodes from the start of a season, so you'll get into the show, but then you'll run out of episodes to watch. Bad airlines will just have 1 episode of a TV show or something, and it'll all be laid out not in the TV show order. Here's episode 2 from this show. I think I've just found something worse than that, and that's what Fiji Airlines has got going on here. So look at this. White Lotus, right? You might be thinking, oh, what, they've got like the first 3 episodes of season 2? No. They've got episodes 5, 6, and 7 from season 2. Why? What? Like, who's this for? If I want to get into the show, then I don't want to watch episode 5, 6, and 7. I don't know, let's see Ballers. Again, season 1, episode 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What's the logic? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Apart from that, the other thing of note is in the music. They've got obviously a bunch of music. Quick note, Fifth Harmony. It's nice that they made an album about their favourite plane.
He's got jokes. He's got like actual real jokes.
I feel like the cancelling of Kanye West has not made it to Fiji because we've got, drum roll please.
Close enough.
Jesus is King by Kanye West. How interesting is that? Full album and everything. I guess it is his Christian gospel album out of all the albums. And yeah, Fiji is very religious, so it's just an interesting observation. One final thing with this whole in-flight entertainment. The most responsive the best touchscreen remote thing I've ever seen. I think this is just an Android phone. You can see the camera, right? There's a space for where the camera is on the back. There's a power button on the top. There's volume rockers on the side here, and even like a spot for the SIM card to pop out. So I think they've literally just taken an Android phone and then attached it, hardwired it. I also did use their headphones. They're fine. They're like noise cancelling, but not Bose or not Sony quality, but still sounded all right.
Huh?
Last week we went over the history of Fiji Airways and, well, a bit about Fiji in general. But today, let's talk about the present and the future of the airline. There's two factors I want to touch on. Let's start with tourism. Attributing a tourism destination's success down to one or two factors is probably a little naive. They all have their own stories and unique factors that led to their success. But let's do it anyway. I think Fiji falls under the same general bucket as Dubai, Doha, Reykjavik in Iceland, and Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, as places that most likely wouldn't be anywhere near as popular as they are today without their national airlines. About 2/3 of all of the passengers coming to Fiji travel on Fiji Airways, and they are the sole airline providing services to Asia and America. They've got routes to Hong Kong, Singapore, and Tokyo in Asia, and San Francisco, LA, Hawaii, Vancouver, and now Dallas in the Americas. Unlike most airlines in the world whose network planning divisions rely on a ton of competitive route data and other factors to determine if a route will be viable, Fiji Airways almost induces their own demand when they start a new service to a city. For instance, in the US, if they didn't fly direct to any places in the US, American tourists would have to fly all the way to Australia, say Brisbane, and then connect onto a flight to Fiji. This is not only an expensive endeavor, it also turns a 10-hour flight into a near 20-hour trek once you account for the transit time in Australia, making it much less likely for them to make the trip. So Fiji Airways is first and foremost for the tourists.
They're in the tourist business.
What about connecting through Fiji for a trip to America if you're Australian, or a trip to Australia if you're American? Is this a good idea? In economy, maybe. Last week we tried the A330 economy briefly, and it was a bit rough around the edges, but the service is super friendly. I'd say if you get a pretty good deal on a ticket, then yes. The 2 or 3 hour connection in Nandi Airport is fine, especially if you're saving a few $100s over a direct flight. In business, I'm inclined to say a much more solid yes, at least if you can get on an A350 over the A330s. This business class seat on the A350 is one of the best. It's strange to be able to say this, but I've tried a lot of them now, and out of all of the airlines crossing the Pacific, I've got to say it's probably top 2 or 3. This seat is definitely better than the current Qantas and American Airlines seats, which I've tried. And if you're a One World flyer, then that's really all that matters. But both the United and Delta Airline seats, which I haven't tried, both look pretty good and could be a good option. There's another point here too. If you're not traveling from LA to Sydney, or to some extent Melbourne or Brisbane, you'll have to make a connection anyway in one of these spots to get to where you're going. Fiji Airways flies from Nandi to a whole bunch of places in Australia and America. So I would personally much prefer connecting in Fiji over having to get the bus and doing the whole connection thing in Sydney. And this is sort of the interesting niche that they operate in. They have this backbone of tourists that can help them fill the planes whilst also offering a compelling business class option between the Americas and Australia. Of course, Fiji is never going to turn into a mega hub like Doha or Dubai just due to its location, but it can definitely continue to grow and occupy this profitable niche in the Pacific. I'm not sure if it would ever make sense for them financially, but connecting Australia to South America could be an interesting future route. Anyway, look at these visuals as we land into Sydney. This was the most picturesque approach I think I may have ever experienced.
Welcome to Sydney, everyone. Local time is just after 12 o'clock.
And finally, how much did this all cost? Well, I booked this using Qantas frequent flyer points. It was 57,000 points and $220-ish Australian dollars per person in fees. This included the domestic business class connection through to Melbourne too. Fiji Airways is a pretty decent option for redeeming Qantas points. They seem to have decent availability, the fees are fairly low, and well, it's a pretty great time. Interestingly, Fiji Airways currently doesn't have their own frequent flyer system, but they have to have this in order to join One World in 2025. This is just part of the terms and conditions of joining. So what are they going to do here? Instead of creating their own, they will use American Airlines' Advantage program. This is one of those words that I've only ever read and not said out loud. Are the two A's like the two A's in Aaron? Anyway, this is an interesting move. Instead of trying to monetize their own program with points and credit cards, they're instead trying to entice more Americans to travel with them by using the points currency of America's biggest airline. I do think it's interesting that they're not using Qantas's frequent flyer program. As we talked about last week, Qantas has a stake in the airline, and a majority of the tourists coming to Fiji are Australian. I'm guessing Qantas maybe wasn't the easiest to work with or wasn't that enthusiastic about this move. And also, it's not like massive expansion in this market is even really possible. So it makes sense to aim for America. Try and get more American growth. It's interesting nonetheless. Anyway, go check out flightformula.com. There's some tools there for earning and burning some frequent flyer points. Go subscribe to Wine Tracker Plus and get alerts for the best Qantas wine deals. You'll be buying wine just for the points. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.
Simon? Is that Simon?
What's Simon?
It's been absolutely crunched.